right, y'all, let's get into Tina Turner making copies at the copier. That's a fun name to say, folks. Tina Turner. So I watched the documentary of her after she died. I didn't watch it because I'm a fan. I'll tell you that. Her music is not simply the best. She is what I would consider the bad queen of rock and roll. Okay? Man, it's just a bunch of banshees on there screaming and shit with drums behind it sounds like. So Tina is going to make some lasagna for Garfield, okay? And the documentary, it's telling us a few things, but I'm gonna zero in on one little thing that she said, where she talks about she goes into the hospital every month and has to get some treatments, okay? This is going to reflect in our reality, and it's going to reflect with Biden and Kamala, or it's going to reflect as the population, okay? Now, Tina Turner, she represents, connects a few things in our reality. Tina Turner and Ike, they represent America. Tina's like the America in turning into the new age and such, that like time on the cusp. And then Ike is the AI key. Those are those types of things. But she also represents a time of the Moses characters and DeSantis and those types of time frames. So as these things are aligning, okay, the age that she died, the year she died, the year she was active, all these things tell us the story of when these things are coming. So they're going to start unfolding kind of now or so, and then they will peak in 2024 during the 888 time frame, and then they will last and peak or be at the pinnacle for like till 2027, 2028, then peter out and phase off of those till like 2035, I think it was, or so, if I remember correctly. Either way, just again, it lines up with everything that we've been saying, all right? So the Dina, all right? A Biden, he can be getting sick or going to the hospital or have some brain things going on or whatever, you know, old age and such, and he has to go in and out of treatment and whatever. We kind of saw this at the beginning. Kamala took over like a week or two. This could be where kind of Kamala comes in and rides the beast in a matter of speaking, where she doesn't get the full power of the 47, or Biden is just gonna die, okay? This could peter out to where until he dies, because the false prophet does get 42 months. And those 42 months, if you go by the January 20th inauguration, that ends on 7/20/24, which is the same day of the end of the Stormy Daniels 70 weeks, okay? And that's going to take you into that time of 7-year so-called Great Tribulation, God's wrath, what the church thinks of as the tribulation time frame, okay? So 2024 plus the 7 years, all right? The 3.5 years are going to be extreme time frame, and then the 3.5 after that will be playing off those, okay? But either way, it's all lining up. So that can be one aspect of the hospital and treatments and such, all right? But it seems to fit more in as far as the people who have gone and got the trick-in treatment and the boosters for the Halloween that's coming up this year, for the Friday the 13th in October, for the perfect calendar year, and all these things, okay? So as this is unfolding, the people, they've taken it and they've taken the bait or the switch when they have taken the ivermectin or what other stuff they're getting people to take. But this is all just different forms of manipulating different types of the heads of the beast. Okay, one's the ox, one's the eagle, one's the lion. So the ivermectin and those types of things, that would probably be attacking the eagle and the lion aspect, and then the needle would be attacking the ox and the eagle aspect. Okay, because if you've had pet birds or whatever, or worked with these things, you know that they get the needles or vaccinations and stuff before they're being able to be sold in the store and all those types. Either way, so all these things are playing out. So the judgment comes. The hospital, hell has been opened by Abaddon and Abaddon and Abaddon. Okay, now we are living under the tribulation of the word. Abaddon came when Biden was vice president, and he was kind of the sheep of the shepherd of Obama. And then Abaddon came in when he opened the pit for the new tests of men, for the nose and the throat tests of the invisible enemy and such. Okay, now Obama, he opened up the pit with the free health care. All right, so then he opened it up. Trump got people in there, and then to take the test of men, and then Biden, the Abaddon, he got everybody to take the mark. Okay, because he's the false prophet, and he's everybody worship the first one. Okay, so when the first one comes back as Christ, and the Antichrist rises against him, which is DeSantis, but the church is going to see him as the Savior and such. It's all the flip. But either way, all these things are being used against the Christians, against the beast man, because the Christian has the mark in the right hand, and they love the right and wrong, or they will love the right and wrong as the morons of the 2025 idiocracy time frame comes. And I can't wait to hear those chants. I cannot wait to hear say, moron, moron, moron. I can't wait to hear it. All right, it's going to be so funny if that ever happens. Okay, and the people won't even get it. That's what's even going to be funnier. So this hospital, the hospital, the Abaddon, the tribulation of the word. We live in America. We have different dialects. All right, these different dialects add different accents to things going on. Okay, accents to the words. So, and then also, if you've ever talked to foreigners or immigrants talking in English and such, they speak with an accent. So sometimes flood can be flood, right? So this is where you get the flood on the earth when the flu comes in and takes people out. All right. The time's coming. All right, Tina Turner. The people who the beast man and such, I assume that they are going to have to keep going in. Depending on the type of judgment you have partaken in, will depend on how many times you have to go into the pit and get treated to get fixed or whatever kinds of things. Okay, but this is just one little thing that her documentary was touching on, and the times are now, folks. So when the church awakens, like in 2024, summertime and such, that's the last kind of rapture. Okay, so just tie in this real quick. All right, so if you've ever studied end times or whatever, the rapture and whatever, they talk about, or there's different arguments about different raptures. Okay, there's a pre-trib rapture, a post-trib rapture, and a mid-trib rapture. Okay, All these things being told to us, being taught to us, are a half-truth. Okay? So the pre-trib rapture, that talks about the trumpets. And this is like a, when you go back to Revelation 4, it's more like a vocal thing being heard. It's not like a literal like, it's not like that. It's like a, trumpets. You know what I mean? So it's that kind of thing. So that rapture, the people that are, the watchmen of the day and hearing these things and seeing these things, putting the things together and such, that's part of the first rapture, okay? The people that are part of the elect and the people telling people and teaching people the end times and how to know you're in end times and how it's playing out or whatever, right? That's the first rapture. That's the pre-trib rapture. The mid-trib rapture is right now. That is the 70 weeks of the Daniel time frame, okay? So this is when people have been listening to people who've been telling people the day and hour it is. This is the time frame when stuff starts to turn on and click more, and those people will start to be caught up, okay? So as they're caught up, they will be able to see and hear and do things depending on their talents and depending on what they've been studying and using and listening and seeing and all those types of things, okay? So as all these things are playing out and catching people up, the 70 weeks of Daniel going on right now that ends 7/20/24, this is that second middle rapture, okay? That third rapture, the post-trib rapture, that's going to be after the tribulation, when like Jesus or the hard copy of Jesus appears, okay? Right now it's his spirit and he's gathering the body, and these things are coming about before the groom actually shows, okay? Because we're the bride and the groom's coming, so before we can actually see the groom, he has to gather the different parts of the body up, okay? So the groom or the bride, the spiritual bride, is going to be gathered up and caught up in the mind and given the light, okay? The carnal bride is going to be taken down to the deep south and or the Little Horn area, Florida through Texas, those types of areas, and they're going to be cooled and gone through tribulation and trials and such. So this is where the physical body goes through the subjection of the cross, and that's the cross of our nation being taken down from within and all those, okay? So all these things are playing out. They're just playing out in a way where the church cannot see it, because the church has been blinded by Satan because they worship Satan and they do not know it, okay? It's that simple. It's so simple. There's very few that's going to find it.